we're speaking about there's no way to relate to God himself what his essence is. So we have various depictions, because otherwise it would be impossible to serve him whatsoever. That's what he spoke about earlier. But he says, but even after everything's done, we refer to Kvod Shamayim, right? God's glory. We don't speak about God himself. God's glory appeared. We don't say God appeared. Kvod Shamayim. Regarding Hashem's existence, much of our knowing about him is part of the Masorah. Mitzad Avoseinu, Kemo Shomar. Hashem Elokei Avosechem, Elokei Avram, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, Shlochani Aleichem, Zeh Shmi L'Olam. Right? This is before Kabbalas HaTorah. Right? Moshe Rabbeinu is coming and saying that the God of your forefathers, what do you mean the God of, how do they even know about it? The answer is that he exists, even though at this point, they're what? The pagans. Right? Over the Avodah Zarah. But nevertheless they know it's part of our tradition. We know there is a God of our forefathers. Elokei Avram, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, Shlochani Aleichem, Zeh Shmi L'Olam. Vo'ilo Bazer. And Shenodei Leinu Min Hatzad She'amadnu Olov. And he says, what's the basis that he's known to us? It's a tradition from our forefathers that we inherited drochov, his ways, she'omar, meaning how to behave. How does God want us to behave? So why do we keep derech Hashem? Because it was commanded by Avram. He taught his family after him how to behave, how to conduct themselves. And what is derech Hashem? Lasos stoko mishpat. That's stoko mishpat. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, that, you know, just historically speaking, why did Christianity catch on so strongly? What were the Romans? The Romans, the level of cruelty and barbarism. They used to take people and feed them to the lions. I mean, the level of torture, I mean, this is beyond. People reached a point they couldn't deal with it. What did Christianity introduce? What did they introduce? They took the humanism of the Torah, tzedakah, chesed, kindness, compassion. This was more than a breath of fresh air. People immediately, they gravitated to this in a way which is unbelievable. How this is what it's about. We value the person, we care for the person, we care for one another. But that's derech Hashem. Shomru derech Hashem lasus tzedakah mishpat. Right? Tzedakah and mishpat. What was justice in Rome? It was irrelevant what justice was. There was no justice. You know, you were of the certain class, then you had rights, otherwise you had no rights. So there's no such thing as mishpat. The Torah says, but that's derech Hashem. That's what Avram Avinu, he communicated to his family and to the generations afterwards. This is pre. No.
Why are we going back to here to say this is the root? It's all superseded by Sinai. All the halachas are superseded by Sinai. Why do I need to come back to this?
No, but he's saying again. He says, in addition to Sinai, much of it is mitzad Avoseinu. No, I think he's just bringing out this point that as a human being, it's difficult to relate to him directly himself, but if it's passed on as a result of tradition, that's the way we behave. But to become upon, you have to be at a certain level. He said that very few people have a degree of intelligence that you're able to relate to him directly himself, that there's such a being out there. This is the way a Jew behaves. This is what a Jew believes. Why does a Jew believe this? It's not we came upon it ourselves. So we'll talk about Sinai. What's Sinai? I mean, even he cited earlier the Psukim. Moshe Rabbeinu says to Klal Yisrael, at Sinai you saw no vision, you saw no image, you just heard a voice. Therefore, don't make an idol, because a human being has to somehow visualize something. So, because unless you have that special kind of mind, it's very difficult not to visualize something, to put it into some kind of image. So you know why we believe in God? We don't see if you start from the Masorah, from the Ovos, you don't visualize. We believe in God. We believe in monotheism. Why? Because Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, that's what they taught us. That was passed down. So it's rooted in not the Sinai experience. If it's rooted in the Sinai experience, then what happened at Sinai? So then it makes it more difficult. What did we see at Sinai? We saw nothing. You know, everything goes back to the way you visualize that original experience. You know, it's like people who are even not observant, who are traditional. It goes back to their grandparents. Whatever Yiddishkeit they have. It goes back, they remember. So it's being filtered through their grandparents, their beliefs. It's not directly, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Therefore, there must be a being running the world. No, you're right. You know, he's just bringing out the point in terms of we don't focus on Hashem directly. It comes. That's what he's saying. He says because even when Moshe came, he didn't say, "Well, there's a monotheistic being out there. Understand that." That's not where he came. That's not where he presented himself. This is part of. This is the way we behave. This is our tradition. The point he's showing is how Moshe communicated to them. Moshe Rabbeinu proved that he's God's agent. He performed miracles. Therefore, believe. He said, God sent me to you. Who's God? So we have to start visualizing God. It's too difficult. But if it's part of our tradition because it makes it easier to accept. That's the point he's making. So there's somebody. So go to Sinai. Sinai is better than. Sinai is much better. Sinai cannot be refuted. What the Ovos they believe that. Maybe I shouldn't believe them because it's something they told us. I understand that. I understand that. Yeah.
Well, the next generation is going to have that anyway. Generation after Sinai.
No, but there's a difference. No, but there's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference. Sinai, every Jew saw it. Here you had individuals. So good. That individual made up a story. It's his family. There's not one individual, right? Here you have millions of people. God communicated with millions of people. It's a whole different level. That's the Rambam. It's not hearsay. Personal experience, God firsthand. Ve'efshe shenoda aleim ba'avur hesyachto ba'avodosam bedoro. He says the reason why Shenoda Aleim, he says, he's identified through them because they're the ones who bring God in the world. It's not only the tradition aspect. I mean, how does Hashem become an entity in the world? They're the ones who introduce him to the world. So that's why it's not only because it's Avoseichem. They're identified because they're the ones who introduced him. V'chein no bikoro Elokei Ivrim, Elokei Yisrael, Moshe Omer HaKosuv, Lo Chelak Yaakov Ki Yotzar HaKolu, V'omer David, Shem Noschel Kosi Atotom Karoli. Yeah. He's going back because they're the ones who introduced him. That's what he says next paragraph again. If a human being was able to conceive and to grasp the truthfulness of his being, he wouldn't be identified in any other way. But since it's something which is not possible. It's beyond our intelligence to grasp his truthfulness. Siper etzem kvodo. So we speak of his glory. We speak of how he relates to existence. Shu elokei mivcha yitzurov. He's the God of what? Of the choicest of his creation. Medabrim sheina medabrim. Okay, we'll leave this for tomorrow.